Ba, 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 ba. Okay, mic's working. Good. So, I hope you're ready for some actual story time. Although, I wonder. I haven't checked because I don't want it yet, but let's see. Okay, I thought this was his story. I wonder when does his story come? Guess we'll never know. Alright, let's go.
Outdated art, you know. I'm most jealous of people who have houses to live in.
I'm hoping the fan isn't too much. Because, I actually need a fan because it's summer in Arizona.
Come on in.
Oh my goodness, I need space. There you go. Here's a seat. It's quite spacious.
I'm going to win first place at the
Anyways, let me adjust this volume a bit. Because, you know what this... There we go. And you can see what... Stage. Interesting. Okay.
Seriously? When is this war dance going to start? The Sky Splitter has been hovering there for ages. When can we board and see what's inside?
Is this how long-life species live? Everything proceeds so slowly. The effectiveness of anticipation in my emotional center is at an all-time high. Oh, I need to drink some coolant.
Relax. The Realm Keeping Commission will send boarding notices to all ticket holders. The Gazette said the Sky Splitter will fire a salute before the ceremony starts.
I saw the schedule for the first day of the tournament. Can you believe the ringmaster accepted 4 challenges? And he's just a kid. So, who are you betting on, Bardo?
I'm betting on neither. I lost all my credits betting on Roboball games in Taikian. This time, I've decided not to rely on probability games to accomplish my target of
Well, you're being smart about it.
getting
I'll give you
rich.
that.
War dance. There you are. I heard you and Mr. Dan Heng went to meet the judges, and then a riot broke out in the shackling prison. I was so worried about you. Thank goodness you both made it out safe.
So, here's what happened.
There was a revolt in the shackling prison. Fortunately, we were protected by the guards until the Cloud Knights arrived to rescue us.
What's your plan now?
Orison traveled all the way here to infiltrate the Lafu, an attempt to rescue their leader with a crafty scheme. This is completely unlike them. To be honest, it reminds me of what the disciples of Sanctus Medicus did during the Ambrosial Arbor crisis. At present, all 3 generals are on guard and taking action to hunt down the fugitives and the mastermind behind it all, in order to prevent further trouble. However, if these Borison can disguise themselves as fox
Let me open a
heads,
black check.
where do we even begin to search for them?
Yep. Yeah, those swords are
I heard them too.
talking about you.
But I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint them. I've already reported to General Jing Yuan that I'll give up my role as the ringmaster.
That's been taking too long to
Security of
prepare.
the Luofu is more important to me than anything else. I need to fulfill my duties as a Cloud Knight Lieutenant before taking on the honor of being a ringmaster. Those tourists just want to see some good sword fights. Anyone can participate in this kind of tournament. Doesn't have to be me.
Oh, so be it, I guess.
The real challenge lies beyond the ring on the Sky Splitter. If we don't capture the fugitives soon, Hule will wreak havoc. Obviously, there's someone behind the scenes orchestrating this prison break, intending to spread chaos. If we fail to thwart their evil plan, what honor will be left for us to uphold?
Well said. You may be tiny in stature, but your ambition matches that of the Yao Qing's warriors.
Hey, this has nothing to do with my height.
Need something, General?
Yes, I suggested to Yanqing that we find a place to have a decent meal. A hunter must be well fed before the hunt.
I was
You
right
still
to
have a good appetite,
make that
even in the
name,
face of
to name
disaster.
this ring that.
You truly are the Merlin's Claw. Please finish the food quickly so we can get to work, General Fei Xiao.
Well, that's not up to me. Dig in. I called you here so you could enjoy the food.
I guess it makes
Me?
sense for them to do
This
this.
isn't the time for a leisurely meal, and this is way too much for me.
Oh. You'd give me time to enjoy a meal, but not yourself? Ever since you encountered those Borison spies, you've been so busy that you've hardly eaten anything. You can't defeat Hule on an empty stomach. Take your time. Enjoy the meal and calm yourself.
Hule's whereabouts are still unknown, and they've even taken Mr. Zhao Cho hostage. The longer we wait, the more complicated the situation becomes.
This makes it tough for me to side with either one.
Zhao Cho always said I'm the most impatient person among the Cloud Knights, and I can't argue with that. So, there's no reason for you to be more anxious than me. I've fought against Borison abominations for years, and I know their ferocity and cunning well. The Borison were clearly well prepared for this prison break, and now they're
You know what's
staying
the
in the
scariest thing?
shadows. They have no reason to
They
rush
could-
out into the open.
You know about that
When
one?
facing cunning and
Have you ever
ferocious
watched Me to
prey, the
Spy?
hunter must
Which
be
you should.
patient, biding their time to seize the golden chance for a decisive blow.
They talk about how
Once
spies
Hule
could be
loses
any
his
one of us,
patience and reveals himself,
and could be in this very
that's
place.
when we'll strike.
But when will that time come?
Like I said, it's only one meal away.
General Hua Yan, the Skyfaring Commission has
Hey, good to
finished
see you
its
again, Yukon.
preparations. Do you have any other instructions?
Representing the consensus between the Merlin's Claw and the Divine Foresight, I'll step in as the temporary commanding officer of the seat of Divine Foresight and oversee the Six Commission's affairs on the Luofu.
What is the situation at the shackling prison?
Hule made a quick escape and even sealed the gates of the prison. As of now, the Cloud Knights have re-established contact with the staff inside. The good news is the two nameless who were trapped in the shackling prison are safe and sound.
I know I shouldn't use the word great given the current situation, but I'm relieved that he and Don Hung are safe.
We'd lost contact with one of the messengers from the Xianzhou Yaoqing. The Borisin have likely taken him hostage. Don't worry, Yuko. Fei Shao is leading the wolf hunt operation, and you know how capable she is.
I have no doubt about General Fei Shao's capabilities, General Hua Yan. I'm more concerned about the Wardens. According to the plan, the ceremony will begin in 6 hours. The Sky Splitter will be activated, and all visitors will board the ship to watch the contest. But now, with Hulei's whereabouts unknown, everything is filled with uncertainty.
So, should the war dance really be held as scheduled?
March is right, Grandpa. I heard the escaped prisoner from the shackling prison is beyond formidable. In case anything goes wrong.
So, Yun-Li, what do you think we should do?
Well,
if I were Yun-Li,
I believe we should declare martial law
if we were to
and
insist
allocate manpower to
that
search
the
for
war
the
dance
escaped
happen,
prisoners. And
then
as for the war dance, it's better to announce an indefinite delay for now.
Your plan sounds solid, but unfortunately solid plans rarely get a chance to be implemented. I believe there are at least 2 parties who won't accept your approach.
yeah, that's what I guess one of them has to be Jing Yuan.
The first are the many travelers who have come all the way here for the war dance. If we declare martial law now, it's like declaring that the Law Fu isn't safe. How do you think the outsiders
Oh,
will
that's dead on.
react? They'd be terrified, and chaos might ensue. The second party is the staff of the Xianzhou Law Fu's 6 commissions. They've invested a lot of resources and manpower into organizing the war dance. Suddenly suspending it indefinitely would create numerous challenges for them. But of course, not everyone disagrees with your idea.
It's not that I don't understand it.
The mastermind behind this incident
can't
would
argue
fully
with either
support
one.
your opinion, presumably. Hulei's escape and your discovery of Borisin's spies at Stargazer Navalia. Even a child could guess that these events were orchestrated. The fugitive is just one piece in the game. The one controlling the pieces wants to spread chaos and suspicion among the people on the Law Fu. If we declare martial law and postpone the war dance, we'll fall into their trap and instill fear in people even before Hulei actually does anything.
So what do we do?
I don't
We'll
know.
search for the prisoners while maintaining order on the Law Fu, acting as if nothing has happened.
Does this mean we get to play Papers, Please?
As if
Because
nothing
I've
has
actually never played
happened.
it.
Yan Qing said he'd assist the generals, and now he's nowhere to be found. With the host ringmaster gone, how are we supposed to act like nothing has happened?
That's why I called the 2 of you here.
Are you suggesting I take Yang Qing's place as ringmaster?
General Huayan, are you asking me to take Yan Qing's place as the ringmaster?
You caught on quickly, Miss March. That's exactly
Oh,
what I mean.
no.
But Miss March is a guest invited by General Jing Yuan, Grandpa. How can an outsider represent the Lawfu in the
Okay,
ring?
that's not too...
It will make the Xianzhou Lawfu
that's
a
a little
laughingstock.
too much.
Dear child, the nameless of the Astral Express are renowned throughout the cosmos. It's an honor to have
Yeah,
them
that's
participate in
my
the
thoughts
ceremony.
exactly.
Plus, Miss March is
Like,
a disciple
give
of
her
the
credit
little
where it's
Cloud
due.
Knight Lieutenant. How can she be regarded as an outsider?
He's already inherited
Can't afford to
the
have any problems during the war
Xianzhou tour
dance.
training, so...
I'm entrusting you not only with the honor of the ring, but also with the security of the Sky Splitter.
It would be safe to say that
Yukon,
we can trust you.
please explain to them the rest of the arrangements.
sorry for our improper management, and I truly appreciate your assistance, General.
There is no need to apologize. We Cloud Knights fight on the battlefield while you judges punish the criminals. We are two sides of the same Cienjo Luofu, and it is my honor to serve the Ten Lords' commission. I've grasped the situation of the prison break. Now tell me more about the current state of the Shackling prison.
Borison infiltrated the prison in disguise and released the prisoners, spreading chaos. Among the judges on duty in the 4 divisions, Judge Shui from the detention division was killed and is temporarily unavailable. So,
Excellent.
I'm taking over her duties and commanding a room
Oh,
of
that was
spectral
fun.
envoys and spiritfarers to quickly restore order in the affected areas.
I and the two behind me will go deeper into the prison to investigate.
But, General, the situation inside is still chaotic and perilous. Your presence would be...
Look, time is of the
It's
essence.
common for Cloud Knight generals to face danger directly. Hule has escaped, and the Yaoqing envoy is being held hostage by the Borison. His fate is unknown.
Yeah, I think we
This
may
is
need a
grave
specialist
matter.
here. So,
Not
I think it
only
makes
did the
sense for him
Merlin's
to
Claw
get
offer
to
no
be here.
reproach, she decided to go after Hule herself to prevent further calamity. I believe the Law Fu owes her something in return for her fervent determination. How did the infiltrators learn about the location where Hule was held? And how did they time their plan just before the Yaoqing messengers were ready to escort him? Finding the answer to these questions shouldn't be too difficult. What truly matters is if we can gather the clues that lead us to the mastermind behind all of this.
I understand,
they don't know.
but I'm afraid it
Only
won't
we
be
know.
an easy task.
For a long time, this hidden force has been pursuing their own goals and undermining the security of the Law Fu.
well, who knows? Maybe we can.
Backing down now will only
Lead them right
encourage
to
them
us
to
in a
further
circle.
endanger the peace here.
The Ten Lords Commission will support your decision with everything we have, General.
Dan Heng and Ling Sha, I'll need both of you to accompany me on this challenging journey.
Well, it's part of my responsibilities as the Cauldron Master. So, where would you like to start, General?
Let's start with those Borison disguised as Foxians.
My people have already prepared the evidence.
Oh? Oh, hold on. You're kidding me. Okay. Boost ratio and I suppose tribute.
According to Lieutenant Yenqing's report, he stumbled upon a few suspicious Foxians at Stargazer Navalia. After following them, he discovered that they were actually Borison in disguise. This is one of the bodies.
Looking at him now, it's hard to imagine how he transformed into a Foxian.
My alchemists detected some complex ingredients in his remains, which might explain how these Borison were able to disguise themselves as Foxians. Simply put, Foxians and Borison share a common ancestry. Although they look completely different now, there isn't much genetic difference between them. This medicine allows Borison to temporarily change their shape into that of Foxians.
So, in other words, if they stop taking the medicine, their true form will soon be revealed?
Is there a trade-off to the medicine?
Indeed. This means that these Borison have a steady supply of the medicine within the Lawfu. The disciples of Sanctus Medicus. Looks like the Alchemy Commission is involved once again. When I was sorting through the prescriptions they use, I came across one called Semblance Reversion Essence. It's designed to help those disciples suppress signs of their Mara-struck forms and maintain their normal appearance. When I compared it to the medicine found in the Borson's body...
So you're saying they must have altered it?
They're one and the same, aren't they?
Know what I'm getting?
The medicinal properties
They've
and
altered it
ingredients
so
may
that they
differ,
can
but the principle
change their
remains the
appearance
same.
from Borson?
Since ancient
There's that.
times, the Borisin have always sought to have more powerful bodies, regarding the Foxians as weaklings.
Yeah, credit where it's due.
Yet, in order to save their warhead,
They really
they were
can.
willing to disguise themselves as Foxians. Their determination is quite remarkable.
If these infiltrators rely on the medicine to maintain their disguise, then following this lead in our investigation seems prudent. Please follow me. Here we are. According to the judge, this area is not yet under control, so we should proceed cautiously. I've captured the nature of the medicine in my sensor. By following the medicinal...
Hey, Apple.
Incredible strength. The attacker shattered this warden's bone with a single blow.
Such brute strength is not something an ordinary Borisin possesses. This is likely the work of AHOY.
If I may be so bold to ask, is this Borson truly that formidable?
I have no reason to doubt.
I have lived a bit longer and engaged in a few more battles than you, Miss Lingshaw. To the Alliance, Borisin have always been the most formidable adversaries. And AHOY is a monster feared even among his own kind. With his strength, AHOY united numerous Borisin packs, forming a grand army of abominations of abundance. They constantly pushed the Alliance's armies into perilous positions. Over 7 centuries ago, I followed my mentor on a campaign against the abominations, and I personally witnessed the devastation on the battlefield after AHOY appeared. Even with medicinal pellets that suppress the fear caused by his leukotoxin, countless Cloud Knights succumbed to panic in the face of his murderous aura. They couldn't even raise a hand in resistance. If the former sword champion hadn't immobilized AHOY with her Frostblade, the outcome of that fateful battle could have been very different. By the end of the battle, only a few of us remained. The Crimson Moon cast the sheen of blood on all. Everything I saw was painted dark red.
If that's the case, why wasn't the beast executed instead of being imprisoned?
Because it can be killed, right?
On the Xianzhou Jumi, the judges cast those unforgivable and nearly immortal abominations of abundance into the eternal flames of the stars, reducing them to ashes. Their so-called immortality is just a facade. Nothing can truly defy death, can it? I just don't understand why the Lawfu kept this tumor for so long, leading to the terrible situation we're facing now. But I guess I understand. The people of the Lawfu are known for their kindness. Even when faced with the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, they couldn't bring themselves to cut it out.
Do you mean to tell me they couldn't come up with a way to permanently kill
Exiled
him?
the healer who tried to solve the problem to the Xianzhou Jumi.
I understand if you hold grudges against me, Miss Lingshaw. I take the blame for the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. As for why AHOY was only in prison, I can shed some light on that too.
I'm just a healer. I'm not familiar with the past. I'd appreciate it if you could enlighten me.
Let me tell you more about it as we go.
Oh, silly.
All of you stand still. Bring it on. Order. Throw. Here's your final. There's no reasoning with you bunch anymore. There are only two kinds of people in the world. Those with a loaded gun. Those who dig their own grave.
Immerse yourself in it as you desire. Time to cleanse the filth. Wouldn't you agree?
Never stop thinking. Let's do it. Fair and square. Fire! I didn't see you break.
You're actually doing that? Is there any? Nah. That's the technique. Like, but there's treasure.
Not bad. How many credits is this worth?
Let's see, we need... in order to meet the daily quota. 10 pulls. Let's see. 1280. Yeesh. Let's see. Can I buy any? Just from the store. That's one. There's one left that I need. Bring it down to 11:12. Dang.
Did this Cloud Knight also take the medicine?
No. This is a Borison in disguise. A guard killed him before he could return to his original form.
All these Borison are dressed in official attire. Besides the Cloud Knight, there were also two Borison disguised as members of the Skyfaring Commission and the Artisanship Commission.
But I've already breached our defense.
Whoever is providing them with official identities must hold the position of power. Let's search elsewhere.
Stop.
Someone bit open his arteries, drained almost all of his blood while he was still alive. Such a cruel and ruthless act.
I've seen worse Machamp.
Despite being
A console made for kids.
Borison are actually more like predatory beasts that must feed on raw blood and flesh. I've heard that Hule was deprived of food and water in the Shackling prison. It's hard to imagine how he managed to suppress his hunger for over 7 centuries. Will the hostage from the Yaoqing be able to avoid being his meal?
Such is the terrible nature of the abominations of abundance. We subjected him to the Forest of Swords to drain his life force. But in the end, his punishment turned into a test of our patience. Just like you said, Miss Lucia. Casting a creature that can't be killed into a star would be a way to permanently get rid of it. But unfortunately...
The Foxians didn't agree to that.
Exactly. The atrocities committed by Hule went beyond mere massacres. Throughout numerous wars, we made every effort to eradicate the Borison. But Hule, with his mysterious sorcery, lured countless Foxians into his pawns to the Borison kept returning. The Foxians curse his name day and night, and they even use it to scare children into staying quiet. How could they grant a swift death to such a great sinner?
Good question.
I wonder if you know why Hule wasn't taken into custody by the Foxian majority Xianzhou Yaoxing, but instead imprisoned by the Xianzhou Luofu is Sancho.
As you mentioned, your mentor was an exceptional warrior and was the one who defeated Hule, an extraordinary achievement. Therefore, the Marshal placed this feral beast under the jurisdiction of the Xianzhou Luofu. As an honor, I assume.
It seems you have a major misunderstanding about this arrangement, Miss Sancho. Allow me to explain it.
Hey, I think we missed a over. There we go. Now what do we have here?
Yan Qing told me that an IPC ship was attacked by Borison. Is this what they were transporting on the ship?
Yes. The Artisanship Commission and Alchemy Commission conducted a joint examination and found that parts of this machine are made from specially refined Borison biotissue. I heard the Intelligentsia Guild has been researching the biological properties of long-life species, hoping to make medical or combat-related discoveries. However, they haven't dared to cross any lines due to their so-called relationship with the Alliance.
Perhaps to those scholars, Borison are no different from lab animals. Maybe the Borison attacked that ship to retaliate against the Intelligentsia Guild for experimenting on them?
I mean, it's still too quiet for my liking.
If it were only about revenge, they could just wreck the ship and destroy all the cargo, instead of allowing it to end up in the shackling prison. It was a deliberate display to showcase the dangerous nature of the cargo in broad daylight. This way, the cargo would end up in the shackling prison, serving as a tool for the prison break.
This skill in exploiting the blind spots of others' mindsets is so typical of them.
Yeah, that's the worst
I'm
part.
afraid the IPC and
None
the
of this was exactly
Intelligentsia
their
Guild
fault.
unknowingly became their accomplices.
Watch out! This thing is still alive!
Even after suffering such severe attacks?
Their imitation of long-life species crossed the line.
There's no reasoning with you bunch anymore. There are only two kinds of people in the world. Those with a loaded gun, and those who dig their own grave.
You never stop thinking. 0 points. Next.
Waiting in line for a bullet? Get out! Don't worry, this one's on me. Bring it on! Order. Throw. I didn't see. Breathe.
You haven't answered my question about why Hule was imprisoned in the Lafu instead of the Yao Qing, General. You've
I
been
don't think it's
reserved
going to
in your
learn
response.
more of it is.
Could it be
I think
that
they
such an
needed
arrangement
to.
wasn't an honor?
The reason why the Marshal didn't leave Hule on the Yao Qing lies in the very mech in front of us.
Are you suggesting that there are people trying to understand Hule's secrets and use them for their own purposes? Just like with this mech? Well, I understand. I've heard that the Foxians on the Yao Qing share a bloodline with the Borisin. And just like the Borisin, some of the Foxians there experience an uncontrollable insanity called moon rage. The Marshal believed that this would be inhumane and no different from what the Borisin did. So...
Exactly. While Borisin see moon rage as a blessing that unlocks their true potential, Foxians see it as an inevitable curse within their bloodline. Countless healers of the Yao Qing have attempted to unravel this mystery, but to no avail. Why can Borisin control the power of moon rage? Can we Foxians break free from this curse? These questions were asked frequently. Each questioner had good intentions. But the road to catastrophe is paved with good intentions. To the Foxians of the Yao Qing, Hule was not only the warhead of the Borisin, but also a monster that could be the subject of much research. Hule thus became a poison that corrupted people's minds without their knowing.
that's why the Marshal decided to imprison Hule and the Lafu. It wasn't an honor, but rather a warning.
Because such selfish pursuits in the name of good intentions once led to a tragedy on the Lafu that served as a warning to future generations.
The sedition of Imbibitor Lunae. By imprisoning Hule and the Xianzhou Lafu, the Marshal both suppressed the dangerous intentions of the Yao Qing Foxians and warned the Xianzhou Lafu to refrain from repeating its mistake.
That was a necessary trade-off. The Xianzhou alliance is not solely about the Xianzhou natives. Only when all three races, Foxian, Vidyadhara, and Xianzhou natives, form an alliance, will there be a promising future for all.
Thank you for enlightening me. Was it for the same reason that you traded off my mentor to the Xianzhou Zhuming, only to stand idle and allow the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus?
You said that I couldn't bear to cut out the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, but instead exiled the healer who tried to solve the problem to the Xianzhou Zhuming. But did your mentor tell you her good intentions led her to perform certain healing arts on Dun Hung, who had just finished his hatching rebirth, so that he would regain the memories of his past life?
What did you just say?
She believed that restoring the High Elder's knowledge of his past life would allow the Vidyadhara to resume their duty as the guardians of the Ambrosial Arbor, quelling the strife within their clan and bringing everything back on the right path. But just as I mentioned earlier, the road to catastrophe is always paved with good intentions. Since then, the 6 charioteers decided that the Alchemy Commission would no longer have a cauldron master. Until your arrival now.
If that's the case, I should thank you for protecting my mentor by exiling her, General.
Quite the contrary. I should be the one thanking you.
Thanking me?
All I ever want is to have a clear conscience. However, can long-life species truly achieve that goal in their long, drawn lives? For example, you were implicated along with your mentor and forced to leave your homeland without knowing the truth. And now, with the complicated situation in the Alchemy Commission, the Alliance has spared me a lot of trouble by sending you to handle this challenging task. Shouldn't I be thanking you instead?
Your eloquence is indeed impressive, the Divine Foresight. You won't even leave me any excuses to hold a grudge against you. But, let me make it clear. The Alliance sent me here to handle the business impartially, not to choose sides.
It doesn't matter which side you choose, Miss Lingshaw. At the end of the day, both you and I stand on the side of the Alliance, don't we? Let's keep going.
Okay, this is where it all happened.
These Mara-struck soldiers don't appear to be escaped prisoners.
How can you tell?
These soldiers are fully armed. Obviously, they didn't hastily join the battle.
The messenger named Morza did say that there were two groups of attackers. And the other attackers, aside from the Borson, could hide their tracks. I believe he was referring to these people.
Hide their tracks?
Exactly. I've engaged with these attackers before, and they used Cloud Hymn magic to hide their presence. Without careful observation, no one can detect them.
You once warned me to be cautious of the Vidyadhara Elder's influence within the Alchemy Commission. Could it be?
What's on your mind, Miss Lingshaw?
Well, it seems that someone provided the attackers with a map of the shackling prison. And considering the Vidyadhara's involvement in the prison's construction, it raises suspicion about their role in this. Additionally, the fact that the Borson need medicine to disguise themselves would suggest that there are still moles within the Alchemy Commission assisting them covertly. Moreover, forging official identities for the undercover Borson would require someone with significant authority.
This is starting to feel
Presence of
familiar.
assassins capable of using
I can make the
cloud magic
connection with
deepens
this
my suspicion
enchant
about the
here.
preceptors. But why would the Vidyadhara collude with the Borson and aid in Houli's escape?
They aim to spread chaos. They believe that only in chaos can they regain their former power and influence.
Yeah, what I mean by this is that
Since this edition of Imbibe de Lune, the once
I'm trying to
proud
find.
dragon race has been
Like, at first they aren't too bad to deal with,
watching their influence wane.
but eventually they grow strong.
Being
And
a
strong-
native of the Lorfu,
and stronger. Until you can't beat them anymore.
understand the implications.
And they do that through deception
However, I don't think the preceptors are the true mastermind.
and learn from their
If I'm not
mistakes.
mistaken, the one behind all this treachery is the Lord Ravager who exploited the weaknesses.
Which is what
within
makes
the
Cancer
Lorfu
really, really,
and instigated
really
the
hard to beat.
disciples of Sanctus Medicus, ultimately leading to the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection. Fentilia.
Please remember, General, that everything I've mentioned is mere speculation. We need concrete evidence for a public trial. If you want to interrogate someone within the Vidyadhara's ranks, you'll need irrefutable proof.
So, what's your plan, Miss Lingshaw?
I'll send an invitation to the preceptors.
An invitation?
The preceptors have been inviting me for a personal meeting since my arrival on the Lofu. Now, I'll send them the remains of these Mara-struck soldiers and the route map I found in the prisoner's possession. Then, I'll ask them to meet me at Scalebridge Waterscape. I'd like to hear their explanations.
Good idea. If I were to take action, it might alert the true mastermind. I trust you to handle this matter, Miss Ling Sha. The internal affairs of the Vidyadhara should remain under their jurisdiction. And don't worry if things don't go smoothly. Once the wolf hunt operation is over, the hidden truths will come to light.
Speaking of the wolf hunt operation, I'm truly worried about the Yaoqing messenger who was taken hostage. Hule was starving in the shackling prison for centuries. I don't know if the messenger can survive in that wolf's clutches. May Rainbow's blessing keep him safe.
Alright, that's that too. Point of view.
As I said, I'm a healer. But my art of healing requires the culinary arts to be truly effective. The magic of my cauldron is its ability to make all kinds of medicines into dishes that patients can eat. When simmered and cooked together, any kind of medicinal herb or ingredient becomes a delightful delicacy.
Delicacy. But isn't that just one flavor overpowering the others?
Well, you have a point. Let me ask you this. If there's a fussy child who refuses to eat green peppers, what's the best way to make him eat them?
Stuff the kid's mouth with the green peppers and cook him alive in a pot.
You have quite the sense of humor. I've heard that you, Borisin, have lost many of your taste buds during the self-modification process, so you can't experience complex flavors. Only the saltiness of blood and flesh truly awakens your appetite.
It's a shame I don't have any green peppers right now. Otherwise, I'd happily stuff them into your mouth and cook you alive in a pot.
I'm just kidding. The answer is quite simple. Chop up the peppers and mix them with minced meat to make meatballs. This way, the flavor of the meat overpowers the taste of the peppers. And even a fussy child can enjoy them.
Can I just boil your tongue in this hot pot? I know you're trying to buy time until someone comes to your rescue. You said that Jin Liu recently returned to the Luofu, right? Well, she did come back. But, unfortunately, I also found out that she committed serious crimes and was escorted to another Xianzhou ship. Do you really think you can delay our departure by provoking Lord Hule's desire for revenge with your clever little tongue? You see Borisin as savages who know nothing about the Xianzhou. But in fact, we know all about your tracking tricks. Like the jade abacus you're carrying, and the side cranes in the sky. The more hope you hold in your heart, the greater your pain will be when death comes.
Not when. If.
I wonder if you can maintain your composure when I tear your throat open.
His composure is only a temporary effect of the medicine. And it will wear off soon, right?
Lord Hule.
Oh, you pathetic Foxians. For thousands of years, we were the ones who allowed you to live, and who granted you civilization. But in the end, You chose to betray us for the freedom promised by the Xianzhou people. But it's all right. As long as you catch the scent of your masters, you obediently return to us. No matter how far you run away.
Hule, have you ever wondered why it took them 7 centuries to come to your rescue? The Borison's era has long passed. Did they ever tell you these harsh facts before giving you hope for returning home? Lord,
not what I would say, but
now they're being crushed by the Merlin's claw of the Yao Qing, by a Foxian. They're hiding in remote corners of the cosmos, trembling with fear like a wounded beast on its last legs, reaching out desperately for any fake hope of salvation, which in this case is you.
The Merlin's claw of the Yao Qing. A Foxian? Very interesting. Tell me, Moktok, is he speaking the truth?
He isn't lying. That lowly beast was a war slave who ran away from our pack. Cannon fodder, a thief. She stole our power and used her knowledge.
I have a
about us
hunch
to
who this
fight
Foxian
us,
could be.
using every
And I
dirty
have a
trick in the
hunch he's
book.
gonna be the reason why he's fall
Bested
eventually.
you, Moktok. Fairness is but a pathetic excuse for the dead and defeated. Since our great pack has fallen apart, who told you that I was alive? And who sent you here?
In our darkest hours, it was a prophet of the Master of Immortality, named Mongus, who
I think it
showed
was
us
called
the way.
This prophet, Mongus, what does she want?
False alarm, it was just them bickering.
The prophet made this proclamation. The Borison have been divided for too long, and only your return can unite all the packs, restoring us to our former glory. That's when we learned that you were still alive. It must have been a manifestation of the Master of Immortality. And the prophet told us that the Foxian general of the Yao Qing would take you to her ship during the Lafu's war dance. And that it would be our best chance to infiltrate and free you from your prison. And just as she said, we did it!
That so-called prophet lied to all of you. She just sent you here to die.
But her prophecy has come true. Our warhead is right here, with us!
Once the news about the prison break spreads, the Cloud Knights will close all the ports. You may think you've escaped the prison, but you're just trapped in another cage, known as the Law Fu.
Let me kill this unruly, lowly beast, Lord Hule! I assure you that our star skiffs will soon arrive. Right now, everyone in the Lafu is distracted by the stupid war dance. so this will be the perfect chance to escape. Once you've returned to your territory, your revenge against the Xianzhou ships will be within reach.
Perfect chance to return to my weak and shattered pack at the mercy of a ridiculous false prophet and become a mere puppet in her clutches.
Oh, it's working. I think.
Her plan is full of flaws. The only paths she has prepared for you are escape and death. Listen up. A wolf never allows itself to become prey. From now on, you'll follow my orders. Since you are so confident that the Cloud Knights will close the ports, Jiaoqiu, I'm now giving you a chance to go and see it for yourself. Go to the ports, come back, and tell me what you saw.
Wait, what did you just say?
But my lord!
Would an alpha wolf ever listen to a cub, Moktok?
No, I've never heard anything like that. I wasn't trying to defy your will. I will always unquestioningly follow your orders.
I'm offering you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Don't you want to run away, Jiaoqiu? You will come back, because Foxians like you always obediently return to their masters, no matter how far they run away.
Sweet, 80 Jade. Oh, no.
I can't believe he actually let me go. What game is he playing? Perhaps I can try to warn the Cloud Knights. No. Perhaps I can just escape. Just as I suspected. He's testing me. The Cloud Knights must have been aware of the situation inside the shack. For now.
Who knows, maybe there's something we can learn though.
I'm sorry, but the Realm Keeping Commission... Hey, although we're short...
Hey there. I noticed you'd been looking. Understood.
Let's look at our options. First. That one.
Would you like to board my stars?
How many passengers can you
Well,
accomplish?
my little star skiff can't account. We need to hurry wherever we're.
Have the Cloud Knights close ports?
Close the ports?
Would you like to board my star skiff?
Well, my little. We need to hurry wherever we're. What? Are you?
Would you like to board my star skiff?
Well, my little. We need to hurry wherever we're.
Can I keep you quiet?
What quiet?
Do you deliver a message to your own keeping commission for me?
The realm keeping commission? It's.
I'm sorry. Hey, although we're...
Well, actually. Probably the only one left I can
Hey
trust.
there, I noticed.
I need
Could
your
you
help.
please provide?
Boars are hardly nearby.
What? Wait.
I was brought here by the board.
All right, I'll call for.
I'm sorry. If I can help you. Borisin?
These Borisin are disguised as...
Will you please wait here for...
Fire Force just boost us up.
Locked and loaded. Stop asking. I'm off to...
I ask why?
Can't you just stop asking? You're not one of us.
The Warhead sent me here to check on the situation.
The Warhead wants to know if we can leave now.
Not yet. There's no way for this tiny ship to escape from the Cienjo.
The ports haven't been closed? What is going on? Stalling won't help. It's time to confront Hule and see what tricks he's up to.
You're back, Jiao.
Come and take a good look.
This Cloud Knights.
What are you trying to do, Mok'tak?
Nothing to remember. These people died.
You want to prove to me that you hold everyone's lives
Alright,
in your
I guess that
hands.
wasn't the right choice.
Right, Hule?
Oh, exactly as you said. So, have the Cloud Knights closed the ports?
No.
They don't want to publicize my escape. I understand. It's no surprise, for fear is more deadly than claws and fangs. especially during a festive time like the war dance. What lurks here is not a group of fugitives, but rather a pack of wolves amidst the flock. My cubs are hungry, ready to feast on flesh and blood, reveling in your fear. Your calm facade will soon crumble. I can tear through it and expose your pathetic bones any time. There's no escape from me, Jiao Cho. Of course, you can try your luck and believe that your wits will save you. But remember, you're not the only hostage in this city. If you try anything funny, innocent people will die because of you. Now, let's talk about the Foxian general you serve. Moktok says she's here for me, which means she'll be hunting me herself. Before the hunt begins, I need to know my opponent. You can refuse and play tough, or you can cooperate and save us both some time, healer. Good. At least you didn't try to draw attention with a scream. That way no one will die in vain. But remember, the next time you refuse me, I'll crush your healing hands, then your knees, then your spine. I'll dismantle you piece by piece, until only your silver tongue remains for you to speak.
Fine. I'll tell you what you want to know about her. But I expect something in return.
What makes you think you're still in a position to negotiate with me?
You can torture me until I talk. Or let's save us both some time. Warhead. Here's the question that's been bothering me. How have you managed to survive and endure centuries of torture? Borison aren't supposed to live that long, or possess such regenerative abilities.
So, is that why the Shenjiao Yao Qing wanted to take me away? To some, I'm a hostage, but to others, I hold the secrets they desire. I still remember, in the early years of my captivity, the Foxians came and went. They extracted my blood and marrow, trying to unravel the mystery of moon rage. They wanted to conquer their fear of the Borison and free themselves from their bloodline. Unfortunately, they failed to uncover the secret. So, they resorted to the most brutal punishments they could imagine. Some seek power to destroy their enemies, while others seek power to become their enemies. Which one are you, Jiao Cho? I see. You're the most pitiful of them all, healer of the Yao Qing. You seek power to share it with others and do good. Well, then let me tell you the answer you seek. In our ancient legends, Duran, the ancestor of the Borison, was dissatisfied with his limited lifespan and power. He yearned to dominate the skies and become the master of all the stars. To achieve his goal, he sacrificed the lives of countless Borison and Foxians, pouring them into the spring bestowed by the Master of Immortality. Through a form of genetic sorcery, the water gave birth to a miracle. The lunar embryo. Duran ascended the birthing bed and obtained what he desired. A heart in the shape of a deep red full moon. He cut open his chest and replaced his original heart with this crimson moon.
That's typical. Just another Borison.
Laugh all you want, but only I know the truth behind every word. This moon heart beats within the body of every generation of the Borison warhead. In the ritual that decides the new warhead, the successor cuts open the previous warhead's chest and consumes the divine heart, thus possessing it as their own. Devouring is the true essence of life, allowing us to endure and thrive. It gathers the life essence of all the prey we consume, making us stronger and stronger. I thought all hope was lost after 7 centuries of torment. But now, this heart is beating once again. All right. Now it's your turn to tell me everything about the Merlin's Claw.
Jiao Cho, I found you.
Oh.
I know I'm in no position to question your orders, but if I understand correctly, you already have intelligence about the Borison?
That's right. My people are busy collecting clues now. What's the situation, Wadza?
General, before we completely lost contact with Jiao Cho, I picked up a signal from his Jade Abacus. It won't take long before we locate their whereabouts.
If that's the case, shouldn't we immediately go there and join forces to eliminate the Borison? Why are we returning to Stargazer Navalia?
Looks like your general has only taught you swordplay, not the art of the hunt. There's an old saying among the Borison. In the forest, the hunter may easily become the hunted. While we may call ourselves the hunters now, chasing them blindly will only make us become the prey.
Are you joking, General? He's just a wolf who's been in prison for 7 centuries. Even with his accomplices, they're no match for us numerous Lawfu Cloud Knights. How could he consider us his prey?
Do not underestimate the enemy. Hule is not an ordinary Borison that can be easily killed. The advantage in numbers means nothing when we face that monster. A vicious beast who hasn't tasted blood and flesh in 7 centuries is now lurking on the streets of the Lawfu right before the war dance. This is what makes the situation treacherous and unpredictable.
To him, the lives of ordinary people are just meat, ready to be devoured at any moment.
Exactly. That is why we must succeed in our first strike, or the situation will spiral out of control. You've heard of this military tactic, right? When you surround your enemy, leave one side open for them to escape. A skilled hunter must be well prepared, waiting for the prey at the most advantageous position.
That begs the question. Where do they want to go?
What would we do if we were the escapees from the shackling prison? While we can disguise ourselves and blend in with the crowd, we don't plan on staying here for long. In this case, what do we need most now?
A star skiff to get us out of the LaFu. The Borison we discovered at Stargazer Navalia were actually preparing a vessel for their escape.
We predict their next move, and we take them down. Let's start from where you found those Borison and corner our prey.
Yeah, but the jam's pretty good actually.
Have we met before? There's no harm in sharing good fortunes.
All of you stand still. Bring it on. Order. Throw. Free. There's no reasoning with you bunch anymore. There are only two kinds of people in the world. Those with a loaded gun. Those who dig their own grave.
Enemy targets detected. Don't come any closer!
Move aside, amateurs. Fiends or devils. I'll crush them all.
Dreams of a past life are now all gone. Though life is as a speck of dust, it dances still in grace.
Alright, got that done.
Remember this. When it's time to shoot, quit yapping.
This is where we ran into the Borison last time. It looks the same as usual.
Because I blocked all the relevant news to make it seem as if nothing had happened.
Yanqing may have alerted the Borison?
If Yanqing hadn't scared them off, we would not have many clues. However, the more well-prepared a plan is, the longer it takes to adjust when it's disrupted. If any Borison wants to stick to the original plan despite the risks, they'll surely come back to Stargazer Navalia to check the situation.
Are you suggesting that there are Borison here at Stargazer Navalia right now?
This is an automated area. So don't you think that there are a bit too many people here today? First, look at those two Skyfaring Commission staff members. They've been observing us in secret since we arrived here. Then there's a Cloud Knight soldier over there. Perhaps he's here for patrol, but each patrol team must consist of 2 members. And obviously, he is not following the rules. Lastly, there's that craftsman wearing Artisanship Commission clothing. He's unusually focused on checking that device.
You have a lot of good points.
If you have a target in mind, let's go investigate.
Locked and loaded.
You're aware of the Borison prison break, right?
Yeah, I've received the news, and I'll be on the alert.
Looks like you've been keeping an eye on the skies.
No, everything is normal on the ship.
This is not a location for a Cloud Knight on guard duty, is it?
Well, this spot offers a great view. Are you here to keep an eye on the Sky Splitter?
Yes.
You've been observing the Sky Splitter for a while.
Honestly, just watching the ship from here isn't too thrilling. Speaking of which, Lieutenant Yenchi...
Thank you for your concern, but I have more pressing matters to attend to.
Hey, you there! Please refrain from...
Oh, do you want around here as well?
I'm an official staff member assigned to investigate a
peculiar issue.
Yeah, we've had some unscheduled star skiffs being constructed at this dock in Stargazer Navalia. Could there have been an error in the production planning for the assembly line? This
Are
is
we
just
doing
weird.
negotiation?
I thought all the pending star skiffs from before the war dance had been scheduled already. I'm sorry, but I need to focus on my...
Who are you? Don't you know that Stargaze...
Hey, chill out. They're just a few lost tourists.
But Stargazer Navalia is the shipbuilding port of the Cienjo Lafu. If the sky...
Official documents? Of course there are.
That makes perfect sense. So you're now...
Yeah, well, we've received orders from the higher-ups, so we...
So, it seems that some Borison have returned to Stargate.
That's my suspicion as well.
Remember when I mentioned that the Cloud Knights blocked all relevant news to make...
But on the contrary, those staff members use Stargazer Navalia as on...
Their flimsy disguise has been exposed. Even if they try to...
Why are you still here?
No, I never issued such an order.
Who are you?
Perhaps you haven't met me on the battlefield, but I am certain you've heard my name. Now, I'm asking you a question, so answer me. Tell me, how many more of your comrades are here? Where are you planning to meet Hule?
This woman, she's the general of the Yaoqing. What are you still waiting for? Attack her!
Waiting in line for a bullet? Let's do it. Fair and square. Fire! Here's your final reward. Get that!
Dreams do come true.
Underestimating us will
come on.
All of you stand still. Bring it on. Order. Draw. Break. There's no reason with you bunch anymore. There are only two kinds of people in the world. Those with a loaded gun. Those who dig their own grave.
Maybe I can do these.
Great teamwork.
Let's do it. Fair and square. Fire. Here's your final reward.
Run! Tell Lord Moktok about this! Why don't you kill me?
Because I need answers.
You were our war slave, so you should know us descendants of Duran. You want me to talk? Fine. Try whatever you want. But I assure you, you won't get anything from me. Only fangs and blood.
That's what they all say.
If I were to do that, I wouldn't be any different from you. I am the arrow that pierces the wolf's heart. I grant you a swift death.
That's exactly what I desire. Wolves that leave the pack are prepared for the fate of
Before you close your eyes, you should know that I allowed him to escape. Because he will lead the Cloud Knights to Hule's hideout.
But maybe that's what they wanted?
Is this how you leave one side open? You let that Borison escape so you could track him?
This is the most common hunting tactic used by Borison. I know the methods of these abominations all too well. They always leave an escape route for their prey, allowing them to flee in fear. Then they chase them like it's a game.
Unless they
Borison get
leave
great
this instinct,
satisfaction from the last struggles of their victims.
they'll always leave themselves open.
Have you witnessed these things firsthand? That guy called you a war slave. What exactly have you experienced?
And that's true.
Well,
What were they
just a
talking about?
hazy past that I can barely recollect. Long ago, I was one of them.
Oh, that's something.
Not all Foxians are lucky enough to be born on a Xianzhou ship. I grew up in one of the worlds where Borison roam, known as the Fallen Territories by the people of the Yaoqing. To the Wolf Masters, Foxians are nothing but property. Cannon fodder used to slow down the Xianzhou attacks on the battlefield.
But you survived. And not only that, you became the general of the Yaoqing. If I get the chance, I'd love to hear stories of your past, General.
Speaking of stories,
door now.
reminded me that now is not the time for them. Wadza, we've sent the warning from Stargazer Navalia. What's the situation on your end?
I've found them. Zhao Chou is trying to stall Hule, and he signaled me to not reveal myself.
Trust his judgment and keep watching. We'll be right there.
I believe the warning we sent will stop Hule from attacking Stargazer Navalia. What will he do next?
The hunt is not over yet. Stay safe, Zhao Chou.
Oh, it is far from over.
Please, save me. I want to live. Doctor!
Zhao Chou, find a medical ingenium and give that kid a shot!
I see. How is the front line?
The Borison Beast chips have already landed on the Fenghu. It won't be long before this place is overrun as well.
What about General Yueyu? Any news from her? I'm her healer. I should stay by her side at a time like this.
She asked me to tell you that she's not coming back. She must protect the Cloud Pier telescope. General asks you to save that kid. The girl fought desperately just to bring us all back here alive. I've never seen such a brutal fighting style. Her body, it's like she was split open. Just like...
Her blood pressure is dropping. Do you hear me, Zhao Chou?
Loud and clear. Get me some tumble dust. We've got to start the operation right now. I will bring her.
Is
Oh,
that
this is a
why you're
past
so
memory.
determined to learn my secrets?
I do.
So she saved you all in that great battle on the Xiangzhou Fenghu 3 decades ago. But to your surprise, you discovered her Borison bloodline while she was at death's door. Moktok told me that she was a war slave who escaped from the Eclipse Pack. Oh, what a twist of fate. Turns out, she's from the same clan as I am.
Now I understand. No wonder she displayed such astounding power.
determination and cruelty in battle. Turns out it's all because of her Borison bloodline. Mutt. Despicable mutt.
And she used the gift of her bloodline to destroy the Borison. Moon Rage, a blessing for wolves, and a curse for foxes. For Borison, to have their bodies torn apart by Moon Rage and transform into a beast is the ultimate joy. But for you Foxians with poor regenerative abilities, it means certain death. With the burning fury in her heart, that Foxian general will eventually lose her sanity and indulge in endless bloodshed. The scars on her body will not be caused by enemy weapons, but by the immense power she can't withstand. One day, she will be torn apart and die as a monster. And in return for saving her life, you intend to give everything to solve this impossible puzzle.
Hule, do you know the saddest thing about being a healer?
You're trying to get
All
out to
this time,
sympathize?
I've devoted my life to bringing back those who sacrificed their lives to monsters like you. I exhausted myself, and my hands trembled. But I believed everything I did was meaningful. But once again, they rushed into battle. And then I heard of their deaths. They died under your claws, in your jaws, amidst the flames of crashing star skiffs, and under the Lux arrow of Rainbow. Like a useless idiot, I saved a fish named Life out of the cauldron called Death, only to watch it struggle, dive back into the boiling broth. So I asked myself, why were they so eager to run toward their death after they had recovered from their wounds? Why wouldn't they value their hard-won life? All the doubts left me feeling lost.
I can smell your desperation, all the way down to your bone marrow.
Eventually, I realized that their deaths held value. They placed the weight of their sacrifice on the living, granting us strength. With a coin forged by their deaths, they exchanged something more in return. Everything I'm doing now, following you so closely, is just for one reason: witnessing your death with my own two eyes.
Oh.
Even your death has value. It will pave the way for a peaceful war dance and a fully cured Feishao.
The thoughts in your pathetic head are hardly surprising.
Did you already know this?
Yes, I did. As Borison, we understand the value of death more than anyone. And as a healer who has witnessed so much death, you won't be swayed by fear. What a shame, what a shame. Your story actually sparked a trace of respect for you in my heart.
Can you even feel respect with your corrupted heart?
Of course, because I caught a whiff of my own kind in you. Unfortunately, in the end, you're still just a weak fox. As the wolf's creed goes, gift the wolf a dead end where new paths arise. Raise him to a doomed fate where satiation lies. The cowards in forgotten corners meet their unworthy demise. Yet the valorous in brutal battles embrace their eternal prize. That's why I'm keeping you alive for now. I want to show you how Borisin truly respect their enemies. We will consume your flesh and blood, nourishing our own. We will crush your hopes and dreams, clearing a path for our hunt. Your feeble souls will witness a new future. A future that belongs to me.
My lord, we received a message. Our arrangement at Stargazer Navalia has been discovered. We must act quickly.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Moktok, what's that noise?
It's the Sky Splitter. The ship that the Wardens will be held on is about to set off. The Skyfaring Commission will clear the air routes. And if our star skiffs try to escape, we'll be spotted.
Calm down, Moktok. Look at you now, hiding and fearful. Where is your Borisin dignity?
As I said, I'd sacrifice my dignity for your return. As long as you can come back to the Borisin Pax, there's still hope.
Hope? The Borisin have forgotten the wolf's creed. Weak creatures put their hope in the strong, but the strong fight their way out. Bringing me back instead of choosing a new master only proves the decline of our pack. And as for the prophet who manipulated you into saving me, she's just a liar, trying to use Duran's offspring. Moktok, let me tell you how the Borisin will rise to power. We won't hide like rats in the streets of the Xiangzhou. We will be ravenous wolves, walking amongst a herd of lambs with our fangs bared.
But Great Warhead, our packs are not here. We can't go to war like this.
Pride goes before fall.
Wherever I go, everyone is the pack.
Stay away. Just don't come any closer. No!
Moktok, we're the apex predators at the top of the hierarchy. As wolves, we create fear. We don't become servants to it. If you're blind to the path, I will be the crimson moon that lights the way for you. Share my crimson blood with our brethren. Use it to infect those Foxians and strike fear into their hearts. Now, you devious monkey, come out and face me.
Chow Chow. Moza. Run.
No, he can't run, and neither can you. You've come at the right time, monkey of the Yaoqing. Tell your general. Tell her that I will unleash a massacre here, drowning the Xianzhou Lafu in blood. From this moment on, wolves bearing my blood will hunt on every street, feasting on the followers of that devilish archer.
What,
Follow me, my cops. We shall stride among the prey. Give the wolf a dead end when new paths arise. Raise him to a doomed fate where satiation lies. The cowards in forgotten corners meet their unworthy demise. Yet the valorous, in brutal battles, embrace their eternal prize. Do you hear that? The rumble of the cannons. It brings back all the memories of past battles within me. My return will bring back the Wolf's Creed. In my own way, I shall save our weakened pack and restore it to its former glory.
The Sky Splitter's gun salute is really loud. So this is what the war dance is actually like? I feel like my eardrums are going to burst. Well, how could they expect to attract people to come and watch if they didn't make a huge spectacle? March, you haven't forgotten what you came to do, have you? As a representative of the Xianzhou Lafu, I will defeat all challengers. That's the spirit. Sounds like you're all fired up. If you could just keep your legs from shaking so much, it would be more convincing, March. As the saying goes, the disciple takes the toil of their master. Remember, you are here under the identity of a Lafu swordmaster, taking the place of your no-good master Yenjing
I am
as the
curious to
ringmaster.
see how this hubris will pay off.
But what am I supposed to do if my opponent for this round is super talented and just wipes the floor with me in seconds? I'm still a beginner in swordplay. I don't know where I got the confidence when I agreed to help General Huayan. Come on, there's no need to worry about that. If you are defeated, then your opponent shall have to answer to me. Although, if that happens, the honor and the glory of the Xianzhou Lafu shall all be taken by the Juming. Master Yun Li, please, I'm about to compete. Can you say something that will give me a little confidence? March, think about the great storms that you, nameless of the Express, have weathered along your many journeys. There's no doubt that you have faced far more terrifying enemies than your opponents here today, right? Don't you feel a lot more relaxed looking at it that way? I've trained hard in the art of swordplay over these few days. It's time for me to get in the ring and prove myself. Let's go!
Here we go.
Master Yun Li, I don't think I'm completely ready.
Oh, come on. You just said you were ready. That's not like count now. That's the last moment.
March?
Let's see. You have enough?
There is no such thing as complete.
Okay. We are gonna have to stop actually. Because so I'm gonna have to end the stream here. I think so tomorrow, I think that's when everything's gonna happen. And you know what I'm talking about. I'll see you then.